Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. Today we have a new release from Creature Caster, and I need to double check. But okay, this is two different ones. These are the Matriarch and Patriarch of Ruin and War, I believe. So these were the Adepticon, or at least they were supposed to be the Adepticon exclusives, and then everybody crashed Creature Caster's website, and they decided to actually offer them both up as regular releases rather than exclusives, which I am absolutely all for because, you know, not everybody's able to hit all those conventions and get all the limited edition stuff. Let's start with our Patriarch here. I will put the correct names in the title and in the description. I don't remember, and I have a bad habit of that, but it is what it is. Alright. 40mm base. Nice custom one. Creature Caster logo on the bottom. Our Cape of Skulls. It's almost as if he's busy taking people's skulls. These look like the arms. The head. It's actually a little smaller than I was expecting. As always, you have a nice quality and casting job on the details here. His weapons of choice. The actual body. And then the accompanying spikes. Well, we've got a lot of spikes. There's 4 right there, but I've got at least 8 of them. Interestingly enough, I have no idea where they're all going to go. So we know there's 4 right there. And there's 2 on top of those. I guess that's all I counted. Nope, there's still 2 more we got to figure out. Okay, well, we'll get it all assembled here in a moment. And then let's take a look at his female counterpart for part of the Lust series, I believe. So here is the actual matriarch, as she's not really sitting, she's more attached to this big worm-like thing. Gonna have to clean that out there. Also on a 40mm base. Custom bases, as always. Wouldn't expect anything less. Some nice scything talons there. Another set of talons. Even tinier pieces. That's gonna be fun. Somewhere is her instrument. Yeah, she's supposed to have like a violin or a lute type thing. And her other foot as well. She looks like she's going to need a little bit more cleanup than on average, but not a big deal. Give me a sec, we'll put them together and we'll take a look at how they both turn out. So here is the Patriarch of Onslaught. Yes, I went and checked the name. This is the Berserker, and as always with Creature Caster, you get a really nice dynamic sculpt. Now let's talk about some of the parts here. First things first, this cape, it does seem like it's actually optional. If you want it on, you're going to have to, it's not going to be like removable because the horns on his back here get in the way of popping it on and off. There's actually little grooves in the skulls around the sides that kind of prevent it from sliding on and off. So if you want to build it with it on, you probably want to glue it first because it's going to help guide in all of these horns. And if you don't want it, it actually doesn't really seem like it's going to affect much. So it does seem like you can go ahead and build him without that cape. His back is fully detailed. It's kind of hidden away there underneath all the skulls, but it's there. Okay, what else? So his horns in the front, there's a tiny little gap on the sides of his head. That's where those 2 horns are going to go. I had to actually look at the photos online to figure it out, and obviously I do need to clean up some of the edges of those horns still as well. And I didn't notice at first, but these little barnacle-encrusted looking thingies all over the horns are actually tiny little skulls, which I thought was a nice touch. And you can see the base here again. Lots and lots of skulls. I'm assuming they're in scale. Definitely a cool model. No genitalia on him. I was actually kind of shocked about that, and I know it just came out of left field, but it was in my head because I've been building Mears models as well, and it's on full display there, so I figured, why not? It's on my mind. So yeah, definitely a cool model. I really like this guy. For some reason, all these crazy horn growths all over his head really reminds me of the main baddie from Cool Minis, The Others. And I can't remember which. Was it Envy? No. I don't remember which one it was. But the big sin that was in that one. I don't know why. I don't like tentacles or anything either. They're just horns. A lot of them at that. So that was the Patriarch of Onslaught. And then I did manage to get the Matriarch of Ecstasy here all finished up. She's nicknamed the Siren. And I totally built her hand wrong here. For whatever reason, the instructions that I did manage to find online for her were just a little unclear in a couple parts. And really, that was just how this hand attached. There's actually two separate pieces, and I think what I did was just flip this upside down when I glued it on. But if I hadn't mentioned that, I don't think anybody's like, oh, it looks totally wrong, you totally messed it up. Everything else really just slid into place. Now, this was a delicate one to try to get everything lined up in. I did need to use some pliers and needles, you know, to kind of poke and prod to get everything to set into place, but once I did, it worked out all right. I did go ahead and put a little bit of extra glue on the edge of this claw and on her hip here to keep her lute, mandolin, whatever it is she's plucking away on there, all in one spot, just because I was afraid it really didn't have a whole lot of contact points, and at least that way there's some extra spots to give it a little bit more stability. But yeah, she's going to be a fun one to paint. You can see I had to really glob the glue on. My glue is not working as nicely as it should have been today. I keep looking at her and thinking, oh, what was that new Slaneshi champion, the Infernal Seductress or something like that? I think this might be a nice stand-in model, if on a different base size isn't a problem for you and your opponent, because obviously the Slaneshi one's on a oval, whereas she's on a 40mm circle. So I figured, why not grab a couple other models just to give you guys a good sense of scale here. We'll get our usual Inquisitor friend because he's a nice baseline human model. I don't have the Queen of Ecstasy finished, but I do have one of the other matriarchs already painted just to give you a good idea of scale there. So they are a little bit bigger than a human, but they're demons, so why shouldn't they be? I don't have any demonettes. That's what I was going to say. I don't have any demonettes, so I grabbed a Death Dancer from Raging Heroes, which is probably somewhat similar in size, use, scale. Was going to grab some bigger creature caster stuff, but it seemed kind of silly. Going with our Berserker friend here. Again, human baseline right there. I don't have any bloodletters anymore, at least basic bloodletters, so I grabbed this guy, the Herald, the Blood Boiler, or Clotter, or I don't know, Coagulant. But obviously that's not what he's supposed to be based on. Our Berserker friend there is totally supposed to work as Skull Taker, obviously, with the skulls. But he's quite different, and I gotta say, I'm honestly, as much as I really like this Skull Taker model, especially compared to the original one, I really enjoyed this model, but he's getting smoked. This is a way nicer model. Sorry, GW, for as nice of models as you guys are putting out, he looks menacing, whereas Skull Taker he looks like Skull Taker. It's what I expect. He looks bad. He looks mean, and he looks like he's really going to get down to business on the battlefield. So that is one of the nice things about some of these creature caster models. Sure, some of them may not have exact copies or uses in major games like in Warhammer, but you could definitely find spots for them in just about any skirmish or mass combat game if you do Ninth Age or Kings of War or something like that. I definitely think you can get some usage out of those. Or in whatever kind of tabletop RPG skirmish game you're into. They're just fun looking models, and they really were a joy to build. So Creature Caster, keep it up. Definitely happy to see these things out in regular release. Yeah, I know they're sold out as of the moment that this video is being posted, but according to their communications with the people on the net, it looks like they are going to be regular releases. And this model, the Siren especially, I've been looking for her since she was initially announced and released in super limited quantities back at whichever convention she first appeared at, and I have yet to ever see one for sale at A, a reasonable price, or B, anywhere remotely close by. So I'm really jazzed about that, and I do hope that we are going to see more of these smaller releases in the future from Creature Caster, or if they ever want to do a big furry shaggy chaos beast, I would love to see that. Hint hint, nudge nudge, wink wink. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, because I always like Silent Anger from him, but that's me. Anyway, with that said, this is High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye bye.